Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Have you ever looked up at the sky and seen something you just couldn't explain? A shadow so big it blocks out the sun. Wings so massive they could belong to a prehistoric creature. Today, we're diving deep into one of North America's most enduring and fascinating legends, the Thunderbird. But this isn't just a story from ancient folklore. We're talking about modern sightings happening right now across the United States. From the deserts of Arizona to the forests of Pennsylvania, people are claiming to see gigantic, bird-like creatures that defy all logical explanation. Are these just misidentified birds, or is there something more to these incredible stories? Let's investigate the truth behind the modern Thunderbird. The legend of the Thunderbird is deeply woven into the cultural fabric of many indigenous peoples of North America. These powerful, supernatural beings were said to create thunder by flapping their enormous wings and shoot lightning from their eyes. They were forces of nature, respected and revered. But what happens when myth seems to fly into the 21st century? In recent years, the number of eyewitness accounts has been staggering. We're not just talking about blurry photos from a distance. We're talking about detailed, first-hand reports from credible people, pilots, hikers, farmers, and everyday folks who were left shocked and bewildered. Let's look at a few recent cases. In 2018, a truck driver in Alaska reported seeing a bird with a wingspan he estimated to be as wide as the road itself. He said it was so large it blotted out the sky above him for a moment before disappearing over the trees. Then there's the story of a family hiking in Illinois who claimed a massive, dark bird swooped low over a field near them. They described it as being as big as a small plane. A phrase that comes up again and again in these reports. One of the most common elements in modern sightings is the sheer scale of the creature. Witnesses consistently describe wingspans ranging from 15 feet to over 30 feet. For comparison, the largest known flying bird in North America, the California condor, has a wingspan of about 10 feet. So, what are people saying? It's not just ground-level sightings either. Pilots, both private and commercial, have filed unofficial reports of encountering unidentified aerial phenomena that resemble massive birds at altitudes where no known bird should be flying. One report from a small plane pilot over Texas described a glider-like creature with leathery wings that paced his aircraft for several minutes before banking away. He was shaken, admitting that what he saw didn't match any avian species he was familiar with. These accounts are particularly compelling because pilots are trained observers, skilled at identifying aircraft and natural phenomena. When they report something that defies their expertise, it's worth paying attention. Another fascinating aspect of modern Thunderbird lore is the connection to weather. Just like in the original legends, multiple accounts describe seeing giant bird-like shapes moving within storm clouds, their forms silhouetted by flashes of lightning. Some witnesses even report hearing a loud whooshing or booming sound, reminiscent of the thunderous wing beats from the ancient stories. Could it be that these storms provide the perfect cover for such a creature? Or are our eyes simply playing tricks on us, forming patterns in the chaotic movement of clouds? It's a chilling thought, imagining something that massive using a thunderstorm as its hunting ground or migratory path. Of course, with modern technology, you'd expect a flood of clear photos and videos, right? Well, that's where things get complicated. We do have photos and videos, but many of them are blurry, distant, or easily debunked. A famous video from Pennsylvania shows a large, dark shape in the sky, but skeptics were quick to point out it could be a drone, a kite, or even a plastic bag caught in the wind. Digital analysis of these pieces of evidence often proves However, every now and then, a piece of footage emerges that is harder to dismiss. There's a photo taken in Arizona that appears to show a gigantic bird perched on a cactus. While its authenticity is fiercely debated, it continues to fuel the belief that these creatures are real. The problem is that in the age of digital manipulation, it's incredibly difficult to separate fact from fiction. So, what are the logical explanations? Skeptics and ornithologists offer several possibilities. The most common theory is misidentification. A great blue heron, with its impressive 6-foot wingspan and S-shaped neck in flight, can look surprisingly large and almost prehistoric from a certain angle. A turkey vulture, or even a bald eagle, especially when seen against a vast, empty sky, can have its size misjudged by the human eye. There's a phenomena called atmospheric distortion where heat waves can magnify and warp objects, making a distant bird appear much larger than it actually is. And let's not forget the power of suggestion. If you're hiking in an area known for Thunderbird sightings, your mind might be primed to interpret a common bird as something much more mysterious. Another theory points to the possibility of a surviving population of prehistoric birds, like these were giant condor-like birds that lived in North America during the Pleistocene epoch and had wingspans of up to 12 feet or more. The Ardentavis magnificens, a related species from South America, had a wingspan of a staggering 23 feet. While mainstream science says these birds went extinct over 10,000 years ago, cryptozoologists who study unknown animals wonder if a small, reclusive population could have survived in remote, unpopulated areas. It seems far-fetched, but we are still discovering new species on Earth all the time. Could a living fossil be soaring over our heads? But even with all the plausible scientific explanations, misidentification, optical illusions, hoaxes, sightings persist. Why? What keeps the legend of the Thunderbird alive and well in the 21st century? Perhaps it's because the idea of such a creature taps into something primal within us. It represents the untamed wild, a world bigger and more mysterious than our modern lives allow for. In a world that feels fully mapped and explained, the thought that a creature of myth could still exist is exciting. It suggests that there are still mysteries left to solve, that the world hasn't given up all of its secrets. These stories also connect us to a rich history of folklore and oral tradition. When a farmer in rural America describes a giant bird, his story echoes the same awe and fear found in the ancient tales passed down through generations of indigenous storytellers. It's a shared human experience looking to the skies and wondering what's out there, The Thunderbird isn't just a monster. It's a symbol of power, nature, and the great unknown. It represents a force far greater than ourselves, a reminder that we are just a small part of a much larger, wilder world. So, are Thunderbirds real? The honest answer is, we don't know for sure. There is no definitive proof, no body, no feather that can be scientifically verified. All we have are the stories. But the sheer volume and consistency of these eyewitness accounts from credible people make you wonder, are hundreds of people across the country all misidentifying herons and eagles in the exact same way? Or are they catching a fleeting glimpse of something truly extraordinary? Maybe the truth is somewhere in the middle. Maybe the Thunderbird exists not as a creature of flesh and blood, but as a powerful archetype in our collective unconscious, a legend that continues to evolve and adapt to the modern world. What do you think? Have you ever seen something in the sky you couldn't explain? Do you believe the Thunderbird could be real, a surviving prehistoric bird, or is it simply a case of mistaken identity and folklore? Let me know your thoughts and your own stories in the comments below. I read every single one. If you enjoyed this deep dive into modern mysteries, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next investigation. Thanks for watching, and as always, keep looking up.